But enough of this palaver. Let's get the show on the road.
Welcome to the Opie and Anthony podcast.
Hi. How you doing? Who's in this? Mick Foley, right? And Annie Letterman. Now, you'll hear in this, we address her as Lederman. And then she winds up saying it's Letterman. Well, stay tuned for that part. It's exciting.
I think we cut that part out.
Really?
You wouldn't know because I don't even think you're part of this bit. I think you left early.
Well, I was there with Annie. Oh, I am. Okay, I have nothing to do with this. Nothing. Move along. Nothing to see here.
But Jeffrey Tambor was absolutely terrific. Right, Jimmy?
Yeah. Yes, he was. He gave a great...
fisting.
Performance. Fisting, of course. But all you have to say is fisting. Great is understood. Anytime a fisting happens, it's a home run in my book.
Jeffrey Tambor outside the studio.
I'm so sorry.
You're gesturing what we want to say to Mick Foley.
Just wrap it up.
Wrap it up and hurry up a little bit.
Hurry up. Remember when she was friendly? Those were the days.
He gets me.
That's Annie Letterman, and that's Mick Foley.
Are you a Letterman? No.
Well, with a D.
With a D,
Letterman.
Nice
to meet you.
Sorry.
I'm Jeffrey, and I'm very sorry. But we can bank some afterwards if you want.
It's okay.
Whatever you want to do, man. We're all good.
We're on the
It's
air.
all good. Yeah.
I like
Oh, we
an
are?
original, just coming in with an apology. That's how I start everything, too.
That's my whole life.
I'm sorry. I'm
That's
sorry.
whole life.
It's the way I live.
Hello, I'm sorry.
Good thing we didn't play his theme music when he walked in.
What is my theme music?
Oh, we have wonderful theme music for you.
Are we on
We're on
this
the radio.
as well?
No camera.
Oh, no cameras.
Can we
No,
get
no.
one? Thanks.
Well, we got a sad one over here. Look at this sad camera we got.
Sad camera guy.
Yeah, that's just.
Boy, I bet if you're Fox News, you got something to say this morning.
Over what happened in London, you mean?
Anyway, let's talk. I don't
What you mean?
What's going on? I'm trying to do an interview.
Oh, I know, but I was just trying to spark something.
I see something sparking.
What? Yes.
Where's his theme music?
I don't.
Yeah. What theme music?
It's in the headphones.
there we
Was it
go.
the Arrested Development?
No.
Do you
Larry
recognize this
Sanders?
music,
No.
sir?
It's the greatest music ever. Huh?
Not bad, right?
We're listening to it with the guy here.
Is that my theme music? What is it?
Oh my God, you don't recognize it? It's the Ropers.
My uncle used to play this when he tickled me.
Let's talk more about that. I think that's a whole hour right there.
Oh, it is, and we got that
Yeah,
hour.
you don't remember that? Norman Felt dancing with the plunger?
I love my Norman. We used to go to lunch the day of ratings on Tuesday. The ratings would come out, and there would be this sweat on his upper lip because I think the deal with Norman was after a certain number, he couldn't go back to Three's Company.
Right.
And that was Norman was an intellectual. Did you know that?
No.
Oh,
Yeah.
Did you, Mick?
I did not know that.
Wait, why couldn't he go back to Three's Company after a certain number of episodes?
Contract.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Those were different days.
How long did you guys last?
I think we did 2 seasons. I didn't think we would do 1 season. I just said, I'll just do this. And I didn't know anything about television. I knew nothing, but I had so much fun. Get this. The same year I did The Ropers, I did And Justice for All.
Oh,
Wow.
that was Jeffrey.
And so there it is. I mean,
Wow.
the same actor does The Ropers. And
No
but,
kidding.
you
That's
know,
showing a little range, huh?
Yeah.
Which, by the way, as you were talking, as you were talking about the Ropers and Norman Fell, I was thinking of your monologue in Injustice for All. When you go to Pacino's house and you're drunk and
yeah.
fucking Earl Soames did it again.
I was so nervous.
Such a
That
great
was the
movie.
first film. I didn't know what a mark was. I didn't know anything. I didn't know what there's a thing called an apple box.
Yes.
And if you go out of frame, I had my first shot, I had a valise, and I kept going out of frame. And the guy said, do you want to put that on an apple? Do you want an apple or a half apple? And yes, I said, no, thank you. I'll wait for lunch. And that's when they knew
Oh, no.
they had an I'd never done a film. I didn't know what a mark was.
That's unbelievable.
That
Yeah.
would have been that would have been a great joke, though.
What?
If you could have played it off like you meant it.
Oh, your uncle called, by the way.
What did he say?
He said, just come on over tonight.
He's dead.
And that's
I
why.
killed him
'cause
self-defense.
Really? Yeah. Because it was
Fisted him
really,
to death.
it was very, because it took him a long time to say that. What was your question?
There's no question. I just think that would have been a good joke. You could have played it off as a joke.
Which one?
If you said,
The
I'm
apple.
waiting for lunch.
Oh, no, I was too nervous. You know, my father told me, always ask a question. I was too nervous.
Thank you, Jeff.
What do you mean always ask a question?
I adjusted Jeffrey's microphone and he
If you
didn't care
have
for
a
that.
question, like you say, are we on TV or are we on? Ask a question, but I was always too nervous to. I was always
Yeah.
too proud, you know.
Yeah.
And you got to ask, you know. I mean, I did not know that when you do a close up that they measure it with a, you know. I didn't know any of this stuff. Thank God for Al Pacino. He just took care of me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He knew it was your first film.
Everybody. Everybody. Yeah.
Have you done anything as fun in a movie as throwing those plates down the hall? How much fun was that?
You know, in the Baltimore courthouse, there's still chipped marble.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I threw real plates.
kidding.
And I went there the day before, and I was a very different kind of actor than I am now. I rehearsed too much. I went to the theater 3 and 4 hours before the performance. I was not improvisational. I worried a lot. So I actually ruined that movie, which is a very, very fine movie, with worry. I can't watch it.
Really?
Yeah, don't worry.
That's a great movie. The only thing I didn't like about Injustice for All was the music. I thought the music choices were a little weird. Like certain movies have weird
Are
music.
we asking you for your
No, not at all. I was
Are you
literally
weighing in?
no. I was only segueing back into how good you are.
Oh, okay. Well, what are some of your opinions? Have you read any good books lately? Tell us what you're thinking.
It was coming back to how great you were, though.
Yes, I was just using it as kind of a
Yeah,
springboard
it
back
was just a
into
little
your
bridge to get
wonderfulness.
back to how
I'm
great
trying
you
to
are.
remember who that was because it was a very, very big composer.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure, it's
Usually,
Jeffrey.
before I go to bed, I will watch something Christmassy
I
to help me
mean,
get to
that's
sleep.
so weird.
And in the past 2 weeks since I've returned home in the UK, it's Arrested Development every night.
Wow, that
Isn't
you
he
just
strange?
made this.
I
Pretty good,
cannot
right?
believe you
Yeah.
watch Christmas stuff to go to bed.
You know, it's we're very, very proud of it. I mean, there's 15 of them. We love Mitch. It almost approached Newtonian physics to get that 9
Yeah.
people
Yeah.
together.
Thank
Because
God.
thanks to the show, a lot of us have gone on. Not Jason Bateman so much; he's had a tough time. But a lot of us have gone on, and it's hard for us to get in a room. So when we were all in a room, it was amazing.
Yeah.
I'm glad you liked it.
It's great.
such a good show.
It's honestly the first show in years that I've, when my mom comes over, I'm
Yeah.
like, Mom, you have to watch this. When my oldest son comes home from college, you have to watch this. And it's
All right, wait. But more importantly,
Yeah.
Christmas shit to fall
go to
asleep.
bed?
Thank you, Annie. We can't let that
No,
go.
no, I can relate because
Oh,
before I go
boy.
to sleep, I think of two things. I think of my my Hanukkah
Okay.
and my bar mitzvah. So I understand.
That's weird. That's also what I think about your bar mitzvah
Right.
when I go to bed.
And Mr.
I-
Tambor, have you ever been in a Christmas movie? So maybe Mick could see that before he goes to
Yeah,
bed.
my
well,
God.
nothing like like the Grinch.
The Holiday Cheermeister. You were there. This is
I
your
am-
Holiday Cheermeister. Yeah.
I am mayor of Whoville.
Yes, he certainly is.
Yeah.
See?
And then
Oh my God, the weird boner that's happening right now.
Who did you play in MASH?
In MASH, I played a public relations a guy. I called my mother. I said, "Mom, I'm on MASH," and she watched it, and she called me and she said, "I didn't like your costume." I said, "That is the uniform of the United States Army." She goes, "It's not for you." That's a Jewish
That was
mother.
her.
She was worried about her boy.
I know, my son.
Can I ask if you feel
Oh,
free
Can I
to
tell you
say
what
no?
my son said? Oh wait, I got to tell you, please, because
Sure.
he just said it. He's working me for an action figure. He's 8 years
Yes.
old, and I said, I think I'm going to get that for you. And he said, oh, from the back seat of the car, he said, oh, and by the way, love your work. I am not kidding.
He's a smart kid. Is he single?
Yeah, he's 8.
Oh, I heard.
What type,
Chemical.
what type of action figure was he
I'll
looking
wait.
for?
He's into Legos, and these action figures.
Any wrestling yet?
No.
Okay. Okay.
Does he like wrestling and Santa?
Are you into wrestling?
That's what I.
He
did,
was a
yeah.
superstar for
He's a
many
wrestler.
years.
Yeah.
One of the greats.
You know, I got to
One of the
say
greats
something. No,
of
wait a
all
minute.
time.
I got to do.
This hurts, Jeffrey.
Now wait a minute,
Hurts a little
because I
bit.
get this all the time, all the time. People say, "Love your work, Mr. Arkin." I actually, and I swear to God, on my dad's memory, I recognized you when I walked in. I swear to you, I just didn't place it.
It's okay.
Right.
It may have been celebrity wife.
Because I
swap.
watched porn and I went. I thought maybe that was it.
Did you
People always
recognize
think-
me? We've met.
Have we?
Very humiliating.
Where did we meet?
Well, we met twice. We interviewed you once a couple years ago at Comic-Con with the Sigourney Weaver
of course,
film.
I would remember
But
that.
I hope so.
Because there,
And,
there wasn't anybody around.
And do you not remember our moment together? Huh?
Let me see that, Jim.
Of course he
I
doesn't.
look like there's something wrong with me. What the heck is that?
It was you had just done Glenn Ross with Alan Alda,
Yeah.
and
You look good.
thank you. I look fat.
No, you don't look fat.
Jimmy, you look like shit. You look like a corpse, a bloated corpse.
That was with. You remember that Sigourney went out in that crowd. Now that's dangerous.
I don't. We interviewed you at a small table. There was no fans
I
there.
remember. I do remember you. I remember you. I do remember you.
He's shaking his head no.
This is sadder. This is sadder.
Yeah, but Jimmy was 30, 40 pounds heavier. 30
I mean,
pounds,
he
let's
was a
say,
fat little
right?
pig.
How do you lose your weight?
Just the gym and eating better.
Tell him, Weight Watchers.
Yeah, no, I have no just a lot of hard work. That's all
Yeah,
I did,
it is hard.
Yeah, but,
I used to weigh 270 pounds.
Wow.
Yeah.
You look good.
Yeah, you guys
What are you
both
down to
look
now?
good.
269. I can't do this.
Great.
Am I?
Yes.
Yes.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Who'd you play on Taxi?
Definitely.
What was your? What was your?
Mankind or just Mick
Let me
Foley?
ask you this:
Sure.
Is The Wrestler not one of the great movies of all
It
time?
is a great movie. Great.
It's
yeah.
a great movie.
It
And
is.
did he not nail that, Mickey?
I walked in skeptical, and I reviewed it for Slate.com. They wanted a wrestler's take on it, and I walked in not wanting to like it.
Of course.
Within 10 minutes, I was like, this guy, he's not doing an imitation of anyone, but I've seen this guy.
Yeah.
There's so many shades of guys that
that
I've known
guy,
over the years.
he's not. If you want to see something, you must. And I was there when he did it. You must see his acceptance speech at the
Golden Globes?
No, Independent
really?
Spirit Awards.
Okay.
It is the funniest, foulest, offbeat, most wonderful speech I've ever seen.
kidding.
Wow.
What an actor this guy is.
You know Chuck Zito, right? Of course. I've known Chuck from just being around, but Chuck's not the guy who calls me at my house. And I got a call from him one night, and he was like, "Hey, Vic, it's Chuck Zito. Hey, Chuck, how you doing?" He goes, "I got somebody who wants to say hello to you." And he put Mickey on the phone because I was the first wrestler that he'd gotten feedback from that wasn't involved with the film.
Yeah.
And he was just really grateful that I thought that he'd nailed it. I mean, I loved it.
Because he played a
Yeah.
real person. He didn't play a caricature of a wrestler.
Yeah.
He just played a real guy and a father, and just a regular struggling guy.
It was good. I liked 9.5 weeks when I was a preteen.
That explains a
That
lot
was my
about
first.
you.
That was my first spank, shall we say? And and so to see him, I mean, he definitely changed physically, but it was like the perfect role for what had happened to his physical appearance.
When you, do you now have physical ailments because of wrestling?
Man, it's
what do you
bad.
got?
He's hurting.
Bad, yeah. I actually, it's the first time I called Deltas. I'm going to Columbus, Ohio, and it's the first time I ever requested wheelchair assistance. Bad back day today. I got out of bed. I was like, oh, this is not going to be a good day. I had a very physically punishing style that I chose when I was 19 that no longer seemed like such a good idea when I hit my 30s.
Not Staples, I hope.
Everything.
Holy
Everything,
mackerel.
yeah. I've had
He's
just,
missing an ear.
Yeah.
Are
lost
you?
an ear, yeah.
Let me see.
Whoa.
See, Jeffrey Tambor wants to see the missing ear? All right.
Sure.
That's
I
pretty
got to
cool.
show you the good one first. There's the good one.
Beautiful.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a perfect
There's
ear.
there's
Why are
the
you
other
missing it?
one. It was one of those moves that didn't work out like I'd hoped.
Did it get snagged?
You know what? I got caught up in the ropes. And in Germany, the ropes were a little too tight. And, when I pulled out of the ropes, and I'd had my ears injured before, so when I was down in the mat, I could see the blood dripping down pretty quickly. And I thought, geez, the ear's mostly cartilage. It's not likely to bleed back there. And we had this unique situation because our two English-speaking referees had been sent home, one because of knee injury, one due to a death in the family. We had a French referee who was unable to tell us that he had my ear.
Oh.
And so,
He couldn't just show you?
You know what? I mean, it all goes by. There's some footage on the new DVD, like a handheld from Germany,
that is
and he actually
crazy.
hands it to the ring announcer, who can be seen like literally running to the back with it. And we kept wrestling.
That's what I'm going to watch when I go to bed
And,
now.
Me too. I'm in.
And do you want to hear a story? And this, I was talking to the guy.
Well, you got to ask Jeffrey Tambor.
I
It's
don't
his
often,
time.
I don't often
No, I love
drop an F-bomb, but I will here, and you have to preface this. But I have to preface this by saying Booker T is a tough dude in the world of wrestling. He did some time in jail that he's written about for armed robbery, and he got into wrestling. Tough guy, and he was on his first overseas trip with the group I was wrestling with, and he said, when I walked in, this is his first glimpse of me. I walked in, I just lost my ear, and I walked in and I said, I think I just lost my fucking ear. Bang, bang, which was the catchphrase. And Booker T said he was in the corner going, I'm not sure this business is for me,
Oh,
man.
my
Yeah, because
Lord.
you're kind of on that like adrenaline rush. That's what happens
Yeah.
after you've been injured. You come down after that.
But
at
you're a
the
young
time,
man. Are
fairly
you
young.
40?
40, almost 48, Jeffrey. Thank you. Yeah.
So
Appreciate
You do
that.
look young.
So
Yeah,
now,
you look good.
Appreciate that. And now I know people come up to you and say, there's always money in the banana stand?
A young man came up to me in the airport the other day, and I said, "You want a picture?" He goes, "I just want you to do something for me." I said,
Oh, my gosh.
Well dressed, handsome. And he said, "You have to say there's always money in the banana stand." I said, "That's it?" He went, "Yeah." I said, "There's always money in the banana stand." And he got all emotional and walked away. So we're talking about a fan base here. That
Wait,
is
what is that
amazing.
from? What is that from?
Arrested Development, and our pal Patrice was in that scene.
Yeah.
Patrice
What is
O'Neill.
with you?
Here's my special request. Without any exaggeration,
I'll do it.
We have referred to my son Mickey, whose nickname is Pickle, as the holiday pickle meister since the Grinch. So if you would utter the words "this year's holiday cheermeister," something along those lines, just
What's the line?
I think it's this year's holiday cheermeister.
We did it perfectly.
But
This year's holiday cheermeister. But I thought you were going to ask me for, because I have another one that they shout from taxi cabs. Do you know what it is? No. What is it?
Mr. Soames did it again.
They said they'd be fine. They'd be professional, but that's fine. Do you know what it is?
We do not know.
Hey Now.
oh yeah.
That's the one.
Yeah.
So I have Hey Now.
I know.
And I have There's Always Money in the Banana Stand.
What's Hey Now from?
Come on.
I was just kidding.
Larry Sanders Show.
Larry Sanders Show.
And now my favorite
I don't watch
Hank
TV.
Kingsley related line was actually uttered by Henry Winkler on the Larry Sanders Show, where the Hank Kingsley porn tape had leaked out.
Yes.
Remember that? And then Henry
Remember
Winkler, the Fonz, leans over to Larry. He goes, so Hank's got a tape out, and Larry says he's really upset about it. And the Fonz goes, I hear he's got a huge cock, though. He says,
You know,
so
he's
what's
a
the
great-
problem?
Henry's-
What's the problem?
Henry is responsible for one of the biggest laughs I've ever heard. Well, we were at the DGA screening of Arrested Development. And if you remember from when he plays my lawyer.
Yes,
And,
of course.
Mitch had him do this take in the bathroom where just before we leave, he looks into the mirror and he does the take as Barry Zuckerhorn, but he does the Fonz take with the hair. And the audience went, these are adults.
Right,
They
sure.
went crazy. That is, by the way, the nicest man.
Yes.
in
We
our
say that all the
business.
time.
Yeah.
No, he's the real deal. And I keep looking for the wink, like he's an ass.
Yeah.
Right.
But he's not.
It doesn't happen, huh?
No, he is nice. He's almost too nice.
That's what we say.
Yeah.
He's been on a show a bunch, and we just feel like there's something that we just don't.
I know, I do
don't
the same
understand
thing.
about him.
Yeah.
I actually hurt his feelings. We were having lunch once, and I said, "You're bored, aren't you?" Because I can't believe.
I'm looking at the publicist from Caroline's, where I'm doing a show on June 1st. Sorry.
In the middle of a Jeffrey Tambor story?
I just gave a thumbs up.
That's
for
great.
In the
Jeffrey
middle of a Jeffrey
Tambor.
Tambor
No.
story
And
about Henry Winkler?
He's
No.
a man who
Let's
deserves an
just-
explanation,
Oh,
and that's
no,
why
no.
I gave the thumbs
Great.
up.
And the date, huh?
Yeah. I ask about your ear, and you do the thumbs up for Caroline's. It's perfect. What are your roots? Where are you from?
I don't. My
Where
mom.
are your parents from?
My mom was adopted, and my dad's mom was adopted. But people speak Russian to me.
Yeah, yeah.
And when if I'm in Greenpoint, frowning. They speak Polish.
Polish, yeah. You have that.
Sad Eastern
Angry.
European.
No. You have a beautiful Slavic face.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, you're smiling.
perfect.
Yeah.
Oh, Annie's smiling.
It's the first time I've ever smiled. This
Yeah.
feels
First time
strange
in
and
2
new.
hours. Jeez.
I just shot it in Greenpoint.
yeah.
Oh, really? What'd you shoot?
What's the business of it?
I'm curious. It's where my heritage is.
I love Greenpoint, the best bakeries in the world.
Still laughing.
Holy shit.
So you guys basically you can wear anything you want. You come to work.
Obviously. That's got to set a
Where do I
clutch.
sign up for this job? I got to get dressed up. Look at me.
want
I
to
look
dress
at a
like
bar
that?
You're
mitzvah.
TV ready. You were doing some TV for Arrested
I mean, this
Development,
is an
season 4.
embarrassment.
Right.
Yeah, I was just on MSNBC.
On
Yeah, you did
Morning
Morning
Joe.
Joe.
I love them.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
Yeah.
He was my congressman when I lived in Florida.
Was he congressman?
Yeah,
Oh, was he?
was.
Was
Yeah,
he Florida?
Joe.
Yeah.
I was in
Where
the
do you-
Florida Panhandle for a few years.
I mean, you
Yeah.
look exactly like you lived in Florida. With
What's
that
your
shirt on.
lowest moment in your life?
in my entire life.
Yeah, hit
Whoa.
it. Let's go low moments.
You know what? I got to tell you, I wasn't feeling too good when I went on stage.
Caroline's?
Wounded Warrior. No, Caroline's going to be great.
Okay.
And I literally said, I went up there. You know, Broadway. You get like 10 or 8 or 9, 10 good comics. Amy Schumer was up there.
Oh, Amy's
and then
great.
Judah goes on and Judah kills. And I told the guys from Wounded Warriors, hey, I used to do some comedy if you guys want me to come up there. And they called me up. They go, okay, Mick Foley. And then I went up there and I tried to change my set because people were already using references.
Aye.
And at a certain point, I just said, if I was in a pool, I'd ask for a life preserver because I'm drowning up here.
What did the audience do?
You know, when I came back, Judah was there. He goes, dude, a few things. First of all, you never come out of a crowd when you're doing a set. Now, I goes, he goes, also, man, don't take this the wrong way, but if most comics go up there and don't get a laugh for 4 minutes, they're dead. But they were at least listening to you. And then he said I might want to actually have some jokes in my set. But I remember that feeling, just that helpless feeling of being up there. And, I mean, I'm a guy that had been in front of 20,000 people many times, and you feel like you get them in the palm of your hand, and now you're in front of 200, and you're just dying.
So you felt guilty, basically, that you had further depressed Wounded Warriors.
Some
My
of the
lowest moment.
I've had lower, but that's the one
My
that springs
lowest
to
moment
mind.
was doing a Bounce commercial in New York. I'm a New Yorker. And I couldn't do, hey, my socks don't cling correctly because my hands were shaking so badly. And the executive producer yelled from the back of the shooting studio, how many fucking actors in this city? That's a true story. And I cried for 2 days.
I just got the image of Rocky Balboa doing that commercial in Rocky 2. He goes, when I go out with the guys, I like to smell like a jungle rat. It's cat rock. It's cat. And then he does I like to smell mainly. And they go, smell mainly. And they degrade
And then
it.
I started sweating under my arms, and so they got two hair dryers under each armpit. and the crew was looking like, what a lux. And I couldn't, as a young actor, my hands shook. I mean, I was, and that's all I prayed for is, will this ever stop?
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, the
We're being told he's got to leave.
Yeah, he has other
we would
press.
we
Where
would
do I
keep
have to
you. They're panicking.
Oh, Caroline's. I got a dig. I got a gig.
First, I'll see you
I'm
at,
replacing this wrestler guy.
No, they're panicking, saying you got to go.
Hey, you guys,
if I
I'm
can get
honored. Yeah.
this is a wonderful
He was
show.
about to kiss
I know,
her ass.
And I was
Yeah,
about
he
to
was gonna
kiss
say
him.
nice
He was
stuff to
about
us.
to kiss
My
her ass.
kiss-
I was
Jeffrey
going to ask him to
Tambor.
sign my picture and everything.
Go ahead,
Oh,
Jeffrey.
that's good. Those
Jeffrey,
are my
And then I
favorite.
were you
will-
about to kiss her ass and he interrupted? I just need to know.
I was just going to mention this is an amazing show, and people
Our
need
show?
to watch it. Arrested Development. It's an amazing show.
Yes,
No,
Your
this
show
show's
is
fine.
amazing.
Mediocre.
And where do I,
At best.
on this floor, where do I go to get my Sirius radio re-upped? I haven't paid my bills. Is this the right place?
Yeah, this is it.
Wouldn't that be funny?
The Opie and Anthony Podcast.
Well, what you guys just missed was us discussing how long this podcast should be. I really thought we should have left it in the
should leave
actual
that in.
podcast.
It's like tearing down the curtain. It's compelling.
Yeah, we're like, man, I think this podcast should be at least an hour and 15 minutes.
No, it should be long. Well, it was very dramatic.
It was dramatic. It was amazing.
What people always want is the banter. They love the banter.
They do.
I don't think they love the banter.
They love banter.
They're loving this.
This is exclusive material, not heard anywhere else.
That's
Wow.
right.
Nice.
Podcast exclusive.
Right.
But how do we hear exclusive audio?
We don't.
We never get to.
We
do
live it.
We do live it.
We are exclusive audio.
We're going way back in the Opie and Anthony time machine.
Whoa, taking you right back to 1972. No?
Not that far back.
Okay.
Lady Di, one half of the retarded Laverne Shirley.
Sure.
She finally admits she has a drinking problem. Are we going to hear the Oliver Hardy mustache thing?
That was done at WNEW.
That's an NEW
That's
bit.
an old one, yeah.
Oh, we're not allowed to touch those NEW bits.
So maybe
oh,
we'll
no.
sneak one in one time when no one's looking.
We might just have to do that.
We should.
And we should handle this Lady Di stuff because she's, a friend of the show with a drinking problem. So I think titling this bit, "The Pig is an Alky," is completely appropriate.
Lady Di.
Hello.
Oh,
how
that's
you doing?
right.
I'm staying on hold over here.
Lady Di.
How you doing?
She's in the projects, homeless.
Bad times.
Bad times. Oh, Christ.
How does hobo cum taste?
What? I don't know.
We heard about you, Di.
No, what did
don't
you hear
know.
about me?
We heard.
You're homeless, right?
Yeah.
Yes, I am.
So
Now,
There's no joke about that.
right, no joke.
of course
Yes,
Perish
I
the
am.
thought we joke. Lady Di,
Yes,
in
hon.
your own stupid words, what happened? How did you
Okay.
end up homeless? Now let's
I
hear.
ended up being behind on the rent, and I got evicted.
Let's hear the Lady Di version because we already heard the real version.
What is-
Now, how did you get behind on the rent if you had a job at Dunkin' Donuts?
No, that's very easy to do. My rent was over $1,000 a month. It was about $1,000 a month.
Why, since you were only you, why didn't you move to someplace cheaper?
I should have done that years ago. You're right about that.
Shoulda, shoulda.
But I didn't do that. I just, figured I'd stick it out over there, but it didn't happen that way.
So you stay at $1,000 a month
I
house.
thought I was going to find another roommate. That would have been good, but that didn't happen either.
So you got thrown out. Where is your furniture and stuff?
I sold most of my furniture.
So she sold everything
Most of
she
it.
has. So right now
What did I sell?
you have the wrinkled, dirty shirt on your back
Yeah,
and no money.
no money whatsoever.
And where do you like?
I mean, a couple of dollars, but that's it.
Where do you sleep?
Right now, where do I sleep? I know.
Where did you sleep?
What was that guy asking?
Yeah, what was that guy?
No, it was a lady.
And what'd she want?
Nothing. She said hi to me.
No, you said I know.
Oh, no. No, look, this is where I sleep at right now. Okay? Wherever I can. I go to friends' houses sometimes. And sometimes on top of the train tracks.
On top of the train tracks?
Right on the train tracks right there. Vacant train track.
Like outside.
Outside.
You sleep. What do you cover yourself with?
Well, we got blankets up there.
Like everyone knows.
That's wonderful.
Who has blankets up there?
Well, the other homeless people.
The other home, and they give up their blankets to you.
Yeah.
Again, how does hobo cum taste?
By the way, if Marion hears this, I'm doing okay. I'm doing
No, you're
okay.
not.
She first of all doesn't care.
She gave up on you.
She gave up on you. Doesn't care.
Even your best friend gave up on you. How does that feel?
What do you want me to do? I mean,
Well, maybe start
this is the
listening to
situation
people
I'm
would
in
be a
right
good
now.
start.
I do Patrice.
Hi.
So Di,
Okay.
Lady Di, I hear you were mugged.
No, not yet.
No, I heard you were mugged. They stole your money and your cell phone.
Yeah, they did.
All right. So what do you say?
that
Why
was
did you
a
say?
while ago.
Wait. Why did you say not yet when I said you were mugged?
Because I didn't think anybody would tell you that.
It's the whole thing that she's a lying sack
Hold
of
on.
shit.
And
Hold
is
on.
it true that you're fucking for grapefruit rinds?
Hold on 1 second.
What?
Are you still there?
Yeah.
Hold on.
Why?
Somebody wants to talk to you. Hold on. Hold on 1
Shelter
second.
me
All right.
from the cold.
Hey, how you doing, buddy?
Hey,
Good.
who
Who's
is this?
This is a friend of the Lady Di's.
What's your name, sir?
My name is Frank.
Your name's Frank. And what type of friend are you?
Well, I just got done working with the Star Ledger papers. I bought a beer. I bought myself a shot in a beer for the weekend, holiday weekend. Shot of blackberry brandy.
All right. So you bought her a little bit of beer, and what's she doing for you in exchange?
She
Maybe.
didn't do nothing for me. I just met her recently.
How long ago? It was recently.
I feel sorry for her, so I try to help. I don't feel sorry for her, but I know she's having little problems.
How-
but yeah,
how-
I guess you could call it feel sorry.
How
for her.
long have you known her?
About a week or two.
About a week or two. Now, sir, you have to be completely honest here because we have
All right.
known her for a long time. Are you having any type of sexual contact with her?
No, sir.
Not even kissing?
No, sir.
Cop a feel?
No, sir.
Are you homeless too?
No, sir.
You're not homeless?
No, sir.
Where do you live?
In Elizabeth. I lived in Elizabeth for 40 years.
So why don't you let her live with you?
Because in my room and house where I stay, I'm not here.
All
I'm not allowed to have anybody stay except for myself.
So it's a
They have
rooming
rooms
house.
Available. I already told her they have rooms available so she could get some money.
How much?
$125 a week with what I pay.
$125
Damn,
a week.
motherfucker, that's $500 a goddamn
A
month.
lot of money for a rooming house where you share a bathroom?
Well, that's what they all are in Elizabeth now.
In Elizabeth,
Yeah,
New
there's 4
Jersey.
bathrooms in the house. Yeah, there's 4 bathrooms except for the guy and a girl upstairs, and they have their own bathroom.
And you just hear yelling
And
and,
what you
fucking
got-
arguing and shit.
So where's Lady Di sleeping these days?
So over by a couple of people that I know for years, over by the railroad tracks.
She
No,
sleeps
she's a good girl. I understand she got problems.
with the homeless
You think
people
you're
by
helping
the
her by
tracks.
giving her a shot and a beer?
Well, I don't see why not. If she enjoys it,
Yeah, but don't you understand that's pretty much what's gotten her to this point is her drinking?
I don't know her that long to
Well,
say that.
rest assured, that's it. Do you know that she has a son that she pretty much abandoned and lives with her father?
Yeah, but she's a nice girl. She knows people I know also that sleep over on the track. As a matter of fact, one of the guys over there, I met him. I was the manager of his baseball team. Now he's sleeping on the track for 2 years now.
Is it good?
Yeah, he was very good. He
No.
He was the cleanup batter for my
Is
team.
is it good?
Yeah, he's all right.
No. Lady Di, the
Oh,
Cho-Cha.
She's nice. I talk to her.
No, I'm
I
saying
like
when
this-
you-
I
He already
like
said
the
he's
little
not
company
banging her.
now.
Oh, he's not banging?
Yeah,
You're not
yeah.
banging it?
No.
Is anybody banging Lady Di on the tracks?
Yeah. I don't know about all that, but obviously, yeah.
So she has sex on the tracks with the people up there?
Yeah.
Isn't that
somebody
poetic? A
mentioned to me,
train on a train track.
And that's to get money?
Yeah, she's right. She tries to get money so she can,
So she gives
survive.
blowjobs or
I don't know all that now. Like I said, I'm only new with her, and I ain't trying to go that way.
but how do you know that? Has she told you that she has had sex for money on the tracks?
No, he used to be on my baseball team. He was the cleanup batter.
Wait a minute.
this guy's
This
all over
guy,
the place.
he's home, so he's schizophrenic.
Yeah.
I taught him how to play baseball.
Wait, let me ask
We
you.
don't give a shit about the baseball.
Hey,
Enough about the baseball player.
Does she fuck some of the guys and in trade they give her like their panhandle route? Like
No, I don't
the
know.
clientele?
Like I said, whether he hits home runs,
Hey, you motherfucker, you're pissing me off.
Enough about the baseball.
All
Hey,
right, I'm sorry.
hey, dude, do
Look, I
not
got my
mention the
beer.
baseball. I
got
swear.
my shot in the beer here, the blackberry brandy. I didn't even drink it. I just got off work. I sold 60 Star Ledger papers. I'm tired. So I'm
Guy
sorry
is
about
babbling. Put Lady Di back on the phone.
All right, nice
I've had
talking
it with
to
you
you,
and your baseball
I
player.
wish we could say the
that.
same.
Opie and Andy, right,
So what was he, the
yeah,
cleanup?
I heard about your shows over the years. I heard
Yeah.
you did very good shows.
Yeah, what was he, the cleanup hitter?
Yes, he
Shut the fuck up.
Most of the time.
Put Lady Di back
And
on.
one other guy. Yeah.
Oh, my
He switched
God.
his hands.
Somebody's probably fucking her right now. He's just trying to cover.
Yeah.
All right, here you go. Here's
I
the Lady Di.
put her back on.
Thanks a lot. Thanks for talking.
All right,
She's
put her
somewhere
back
zipping
on.
up the back zipper of her sack.
Hi, Gulp.
Someone start up the Lady Di death pool.
Lady Di.
Yes.
All right, I'm going to ask you a question.
What?
I know the answer already, so don't fucking lie.
I'm not going to fucking lie. Go ahead.
All right. Are you on the tracks at night having sex in exchange for money or food?
No.
Yes, you are.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are.
No, I'm not.
Have you had any intimate contact with anybody on the tracks?
I don't kiss and tell.
That's not like you are having a romantic fucking date.
Kiss and tell. We're talking about hobo cum.
Dude, you are trading
isn't a
sexual
romance
favors.
novel, you ass.
No, I don't do that.
You are trading sexual favors for money.
No, I'm not doing that.
Yes, you are. Why can't you admit it? You know something? Until you admit things, you are going to continue sleeping on the fucking train track.
No, I'm not going to do. No,
So-
I'm not going to do that either. This is only like one thing right
So
now.
what
that
you
I'm
have
going
done,
through.
what you have done with the kissing and not telling, is for romance, loneliness, friendship. What do you do it
Drinking.
for?
Probably
drink.
loneliness, but no, I don't do that.
Drinks
A
it doesn't
drink.
tell.
Oh yeah, you want some of this moonshine on your face?
Yeah. Maybe. So, Lady Di, you're telling me. You're
something.
telling me if you want to drown your sorrows with some booze one night and you can't afford it because you don't have any money, and some guy says, you suck my dick, I'll give you a fucking bottle of beer.
No, I wouldn't do that.
That hasn't happened.
Then where are you getting your booze
that
from?
Has not happened.
Where are you getting your booze from?
The guy just told you, friends. That's it.
They just give it to you.
Yeah.
They're homeless.
He's
They're
not
homeless
homeless.
and
No,
living in
he's not
shelters, and they give you their booze for nothing.
He's not a homeless guy.
Yeah, he lives in a fucking
just
shelter,
want
and he's
to?
a schizophrenic. Believe me, he's one
no.
step away from being homeless.
That's pretty much homeless.
Everybody's 2 paychecks away from being homeless. I don't care,
Yeah.
how you are,
Yeah.
whatever.
That's
Two
believe me.
paychecks away from
Yeah,
being
keep
homeless.
can
believing
happen.
that crap.
It can happen.
When was the last time you showered, Lady Di?
Yesterday, why?
Where?
Where?
My dad's house.
Your dad won't see you. We heard this already. Your dad will not see you.
How do you know about this?
We know. We heard everything. You're a compulsive fucking liar.
Okay.
Your dad won't see you. Where did you shower?
I showed at my dad's house.
Liar, liar, pants full of hobo cum.
You. What is to you? He went
Where
to
did you
yesterday.
shower?
You've always lied to
See,
us.
this is now
I
the
never
new
lied to
listeners
you
are finally going to
So
understand.
she's saying that you're saying your father lets you shower and then
But he
says
won't let
get the
me stay
fuck
there.
out.
Right.
Right after he lets you
Allegedly.
do an intimate thing in his house, he tells you to leave after you fuck.
Yeah.
He goes,
Oh,
shower,
God.
you fucking bitch, and get out.
And then get out.
And what did you steal from him?
Yeah, well, no, I don't.
What-
I don't do that. I don't steal.
How far from the tracks is your father's house?
I don't know, about maybe 3-4 miles.
And he lets you shower, and then you say, "Bye, Daddy. I'm going back to sleep with the homeless."
I'm not gonna tell him where I'm sleeping at.
He doesn't ask,
Oh,
but he
no.
asked you. He asked you why I'm sleeping at a place that doesn't have a shower.
Right.
If you're going over there to shower, apparently you're fucking homeless.
If you guys could do me a favor on whackbag.com.
No, you're lying to us.
no,
Not until you.
no,
not
no,
until you
no,
tell the truth.
No,
All right,
no.
you want me to tell you the truth?
Yes.
This is the truth.
We help out people that
Wait a minute.
really deserve it.
That means she was lying. If she's getting ready to say you want the truth, had
Yeah.
she been lying
What's
the whole time?
the truth, Lady Di?
The truth is I am homeless, and I'm doing whatever I can, to get by right now. To
And,
survive.
and that includes,
Well, you know what I'm saying.
Lady Di, that includes what?
Hold on 1 minute. Hold
That-
on.
Let's listen. Hello?
She hung up on
She
us.
hung up. Hold on. Now, for the new listeners, we've been dealing with that on a steadily declining basis to the point she's at now, completely destitute, for years now.
When we first met her, she actually had a pretty good job.
She had a good job with Budweiser.
Budweiser, I believe. Yeah,
She
worked in
had-
like one of the Budweiser plants or something like that.
Her
Jesus, does
son-
that fucking tell you
I
something?
think she was married. Yeah, I know. She went where the booze was. And now that's what you get. But the one consistency through the entire episode is the fact that she is a compulsive liar. She will never tell the truth. She will never be honest with herself, which is the most important thing. And she's just going to stay where she is. Lady Di Death Pool. Let's get it running because she don't have much time left.
The Opie and Anthony Podcast. Continues.
Anybody remember Subway vigilante Bernie Getz?
Yeah.
In New York? He wound up shooting, what, 3?
3, James Ramseur, Daryl Cabey, and one other guy.
I don't need the biography.
No, but I'm just saying the guys' names that he shot. 3 young gentlemen of color who were robbing him with a screwdriver.
Of course.
Right. And
Yeah.
we were lucky enough to befriend the guy.
For a week or so.
I do know he wanted to play some of his music. And I also know that we pissed him off, or I guess I have to take the credit for this one. I pissed him off really badly. And he ran out of the studio to try to get something from the bag he brought in.
Yeah, and we weren't sure if he was going to pull another gun and recreate his famous shooting.
I was very
in the
scared.
subway.
I was very scared that
That
day.
was kind of like...
It was creepy.
Where's Bernie going?
He's nutty.
Yeah.
He's very wacky. All I wanted to talk to him about was the shooting.
He walks us through it. Does he walk us through it in this clip, Sam?
Yes,
It's chilling.
because when he just talks about his run for mayor, he's babbling like an idiot.
Right.
I'd rather have him shooting people.
Dude, he fucking said everything slowed down. It was really great to hear him walk through it.
He freaks out. I know that much.
Who's that chick? I want to fuck her.
Yo, we're doing podcast intros.
Oh, sorry. I just saw a chick walk by and I want to fuck her.
A chick.
This is live banter.
Outside the studio, Bernard Getz,
Bernard Getz.
the subway vigilante.
You might remember him as that.
One of the biggest New York City stories in the last 20 years, easily, right?
Yeah.
You had the Son of Sam. You had
it was huge. Tawana Brawley.
Yeah, Chambers and Bernie, who's about to enter the studio.
Joel Steinberg was a big New York story.
Yep.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah,
like,
bring him on in.
Look at, he's like, when am I coming in?
There he is. Bernard Getz. Great. How are you?
Good.
Very good. How you doing?
Wow, well, very nice. This is like another good radio station.
It's the real deal, yeah.
Okay, excellent.
Why don't we recap for the national audience? I know it was a huge New York story years ago. What year was the shooting?
84.
84.
December of 84.
It was a huge story, but if you could, I guess you'd be best qualified to tell the national audience what happened back then.
Okay. I got on a subway car on a Saturday afternoon, and I was going to a specific location, by the way. This came up with another interview before. I was going to a meeting where I was meeting some people, and on the train, after I sat down, I got surrounded by a group, and I wound up shooting all four of them, and fled the scene, and I later turned myself in, gave a version of events to people that I was trying to recreate. I was rather confused at the time, but I actually gave a lot of good information. And we didn't get the correct information about with the forensic evidence until about 1 3/4 years later at the trial. And
really?
we were rather stunned to find that one of the guys was only shot one time. Because that's correct. We were counting bullets, doing bullet inventory and stuff like that, and certain things just didn't make sense. And when we found out that KB was only shot one time, it was only at that point that we could accurately recreate the shooting.
Now, they assumed that he was shot more than once.
That's right. They say in a high publicity story, I've heard it said on in the media that if a piece of misinformation goes out on the news, and it's not refuted within 24 hours, then it becomes fact.
It's fact, regardless.
And so in my case, you had it for 1 3/4 years. The case was it encouraged racial resentment in New York.
Well, it certainly did.
Yeah. And if you ask black people today, for example, and I mean this is a little painful to say, what in New York City, what their opinions are about my case, probably at least 80% of them will say it's. They're somewhat vague about their reasons, but they'll say it's somewhat of a racial case, or they'll basically say it's a racial case. You also had the courts wasted a whole bunch of time.
But if they would have successfully harmed you, it wouldn't have been a racial case. It would have just been another mugging.
That's right. But other negative things that came out of it. The courts, for example, in New York, rewrote the law based on my case, the law of self-defense. So the law basically, they said now every shot is to be judged individually.
Oh, really?
Now it turns out that in reality, all my shots I got off between 1.5 to 1.6 seconds max. You do something called speed shooting. Some people, I don't know if you're familiar with it or not, and just to clarify it, because I've seen some things not said exactly in the media, you do aim, but you pull the trigger before you aim. You aim, but you pull and you do that with a revolver. I don't know how to do it with an automatic. And you basically, while you're pulling the trigger, you just try to keep the barrel lined up on the target, and that's about it. And you can do very fast shooting. And it's not that much of a trick. I think speed typing, is more of a skill. If you can drive a car, if you steer a car with one hand, in a way, that's good practice for shooting. That's a car, they say, is a 3,000-pound bullet.
Now,
so people can misuse a car, and they can
absolutely.
You can misuse a gun.
When the news came out, it said that you had at one point said, you don't look so bad.
Here's another. That's correct.
Did that actually happen?
Well, yes. You see, when you're doing this, you're totally concentrating on your shooting, and there's a very limited amount of things that happen. When I actually said, for example, on my videotape, I saw the number 4 in the upper right-hand corner of my mind. I actually, when the adrenaline hits. I had 4 vertical bars, and after I shot the first guy, the first one disappeared. When I shot the second one, the second bar disappeared.
You actually
that was my memory.
Saw this
in the upper right-hand corner of your mind, you have a little because what you do is, in a situation like that, you try to get as many as you can as quickly as you can.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I was saying on the tape, speed is everything. Speed is and the count. You have to have your targets pre-identified.
How did you know that it was a threat at that time? How did you absolutely know that they were going to harm you in some way?
Okay, well, because I was very familiar with the streets of New York. At the time, I had a lucrative job. I worked less than half the year, and the rest of the time I was spending my time on the streets of New York, mostly stoned, all over the city. I considered all the city to be my city, with the exception of Harlem, and that's when I was in my 20s, because I went up to Harlem with some guys from Washington Square Park we used to hang out with, and we went up there one weekend night for a card game, and we played cards for a few hours, and then on the way back, we were threatened twice on the way back, just walking maybe 2 blocks to the subway. It was the 125th Street, you know, and that, now maybe a little more than that, maybe 3 blocks, you know, but so I decided not to go in Harlem. But anyway, I was familiar with the streets. I had been mugged once before, and then people had attempted to mug me previously.
Is that why you went out and got a gun?
That's why I was carrying a gun at that time. I had owned and carried, I had guns previously in my life, and basically I realized that these guys from Brooklyn are very tough. I mean, the craziest people in this city, I feel, come from Brooklyn. And they're dangerous too. But anyway, there are people out. The majority of people out there could outfight me even then. I was a good physical specimen. But if there are people who are interested in fighting, you can't outfight these guys. You can forget it. Any one of them can kick your butt. Any one of them can kick your butt, and they fight hard and dirty even.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but anyway, so not wanting to be have to learn karate like your security guy out there.
Master Po.
Right. I just figure, it's easier to carry a gun.
Absolutely.
And
I gotta agree with you.
And it's a shame to say that, because back then, that was a very reasonable conclusion. I feel New York City is so much safer today. Basically, I hardly ever carry a gun.
It was a little crazy back in the day. You still carry though?
No. Your guard asked me if I was armed. I said no.
But do you have a permit to carry a weapon?
No. Permits in New York City doesn't want to give out permits and
very
stuff.
difficult.
Of course, they always say, one guy told me once in the park, he said, a friend told me that he needed 2 things to get a gun, and he said first he needed a piece of paper, and the second is he needed a gun, so.
Yeah. It's very hard in New York City to get a gun.
And
that's right. And, the people like the policy here. So many people like it. And what can you do? 85% of the people in the city voted for Kerry. And I don't know if you agree with it or not, but it tells you something. I mean, I'm not too pleased with that. I'm not too pleased with the political representation that we sent to Washington. I'm a little embarrassed by them. And
you don't like Hillary?
Well, I think it's stupid that if you have an existing administration in power, that let's say if. And I'm not. This is not even a moral question, but if let's say the Republicans are controlling the federal government, why do you send them their competition? Why do you elect Democrats as their competition?
It's going to be that much harder for them to get money and help from the federal government. Right.
I didn't like Al D'Amato, but people say if he had been reelected instead of Schumer, that. New York, over the course of his 6-year term, New York State companies would have gotten probably about $5 billion more in federal contracts, and that would have been, he was head of the Ways and Means Committee. New York, shoots itself in the foot a lot. They did with that nuclear plant that was shut down several years ago, $5 billion, something like that. The public, winds up paying for that.
You're running for mayor?
In the next election, I want to run for mayor. I don't expect to be elected, but I think that's a way of influencing society. In New York government, New York's very lucky. New York City, in some ways, the public is very lucky. The politics in the city is basically mostly septic. and at the same time, because of the law, the way the New York State law is, the New York City Charter is written, almost all the power in city government is in one person. It's in the mayor's office. And it's kind of simple in New York City. The mayor doesn't really have the right to do the budget anymore, but even though he has a great say on it, he hires and fires everybody in the city.
Yeah, the mayor of New York has a lot more power than just mayors of any other city in the country, it seems. They really do seem to have a lot of...
And that's, he appoints, let's say, basically he appoints almost everybody. The schools commissioner has a lot of say in many things. One of the problems, I feel, that we have right now with subway, with the train financing in New York City is too much of it. The MTA is controlled by the state, apparently. I think that something like the subways and buses in New York City should be controlled mostly by city politics. And
do you consider yourself more a Democrat or Republican?
Neither. What I'm going to say now, doesn't reflect on national Republicans or Democrats. It's the way I see Democrats and Republicans in New York City. I think the Democrats, all the big-name Democrats in the city, let's say running for mayor, and I feel the power, the main political issue in New York City is the mayor's office. All the big-name Democrats play the race card, and I think very poorly of all of them, and that whether it's you look at all the candidates that they had running for mayor, and I'll even name even the better names of them. That I think they were all basically a bunch of bums. They'll play the race card, do rabble-rousing. The Republicans in New York generally, and I'll tell you how very good comes out of this. The Republicans are even worse. I was at one of those Republican fundraisers where I got invited by various groups, and I saw what went on, and after the whole thing was over, that's where people buy $5,000 tables for people. Yeah. And afterwards, some people offered me a ride home, and they said, "But we were going to. I need to talk to some guys up in a hotel, up in one of the conference rooms upstairs." And so they went up. It was actually a suite, it wasn't a conference room, and it was several of these guys sitting around talking. And all of it is, if you get this, okay, I'm going to do this for you, and if you get this, you're going to do this for me.
Right, a little favor session.
And not one thing about what the public was about. It was basically the Republicans in New York, or at least in New York City, are crooks. And how good comes out of this is with the Democrats, you get real bad candidates. The Republicans are in such bad shape, they don't have candidates. And so they have to give they give their candidacy lately. They've been giving it to people outside the party, non-professional politicians. Now, both Rudy Giuliani and you have Mike Bloomberg were non-professional politicians. Rudy Giuliani, that was his first time running for office. He was a prosecutor before. The Republicans really don't like him. But he was a non-professional politician, very smart. I don't like everything he did. He did a tremendous amount of good things.
Well, after 9/11, you know.
Well,
before that, people were just angry with him here in the city.
It's not the 9/11 thing. I'm saying before the 9/11
quality
thing.
of life crime stuff.
Well, yeah, that was. No, I think the worst thing he did.
Getting the squeegee guys off the street.
Well, yeah, he got rid of Rudy Crew, who was the school's chancellor, and that was probably the worst mistake. There was a little bit of a scandal going on, and the school system actually had made remarkable improvements, and the trend was upward. And the guy had been in charge for like 5 years or whatever it was, and he got rid of him because there was some negative publicity in the papers that things in the school system were bad. But if you look at the real statistics, and that's unfudged statistics, the thing that there had actually been very significant improvement over the years, and you can't do change in the school system overnight. For example, if there's someone in the 11th grade, if their third grade education isn't right, it'll be screwed up every year after that if they don't learn how to read and write correctly. Anyway.
Well, we'll see what happens if you get elected.
I'm not going to get elected, but what I want to do.
You know that it would probably be a pretty slim chance. I don't think.
That's not the issue. You see,
why you're running
in the last mayor's. Oh, sure, I'll get into that. But just so you know, in the last mayor's election, there were 26 people. 26 people wanted to run. Only 10 of them got on the ballot, and I had a page on my web page where I listed everyone else's website. So you could just go to that, and you could click on here for Alan Hevesey's website, Mark Green, Dick Brodeur, all kinds of other names you heard, Peter Vallone, and anyway, Mike Bloomberg, who I almost voted for. But anyway, there's things that I think that are
You sure like to talk, Bernie. I gotta tell you.
Okay,
we want the action-packed action movie version.
Okay, but
the ballistics test.
No, you talked about the sound and stuff.
Yeah.
When the first shot went off, I don't know if that was a gun cleaning a barrel, because I had never fired it. And you know what it's like when a gun cleans a barrel. People first thought, the reports were I'd been shooting a .44 Magnum. Everybody, basically in the car.
Well, it's going to be loud in the subway car, too.
You lose your sense of hearing. Two women fainted outright. You actually, your vision changes, and you lose your sense of hearing. You don't feel the gun. All you're trying to do, your hand, your eye, your mind, and gun are the one. And you just want to bring that trigger, want to bring the hammer down as quickly as you can on each of your targets.
You want to keep it loud, scare away any pain in the ass innocent bystanders.
Well, it turns out, the first loud shot, forget it. Everybody's gone.
It was scared stiff of you, right, kid?
Well, I mean, what happened, I don't know what the other people were doing. I heard while this was going on, there was like a little high-pitched, it was like the screeching of a subway wheels, but it wasn't. The train wasn't. It might have been people screaming in the background. What I was told later is everybody, while this was going on, was boogieing out of the car.
Of course.
Okay? On the other side of the car. Was going out of the other direction. This was on the north side of the car, and everybody else in the middle of the car.
All right, so you nailed the first guy in the chest.
Okay, then the second shot, and I'm not bragging, that was a real good shot. That guy was super fast, Barry Allen. He was moving, but again...
He was moving. So
fast.
after the first shot, they all...
Man, he was like... well, I'll tell you about who was moving, who wasn't. I brought the hammer down on him, and it was amazing that I got him. And after that came the plus Ps, and I was pulling the trigger and spinning around to get the third guy, but the third guy was much farther away than the fourth guy. Fourth guy was in the corner, Daryl Cabey. So instead, I tried to get him, but the bullet fired, prematurely. By the way, what happened with that bullet was that bullet hit the subway wall, put a big dent in it, broke into two pieces. One piece fell straight down, and another piece came back, and it either hit me or a woman in the car. But it was moving at very low velocity. Yeah. The piece that came back was moving slower than a baseball. But slower than a face.
So you hit first shot, hit second shot, missed your third shot.
Third shot, right. Fourth shot, I got Daryl Cabey. And by the way, I misrepresented stuff on the videotape. He was previously standing, but he was sitting in the seat.
Why was he sitting? What is he, an idiot?
Well, no. What's he going to do? He was trapped in a corner.
Did he think you might not have noticed him just sitting there? I'm just waiting for the subway to.
So, right, I got him with the third shot. Boom, and then I pulled the trigger, swing. I'm pulling the trigger, swing over, and the fourth guy was right there. So I got him right away. So I got off 5 shots, and I did it. I did that. That was pretty good shooting. By the way,
5 shots in how much time?
Max 1.5, 1.6 seconds.
You
could do it. You could do it.
5 shots and they're still alive.
Well, it's funny. Curtis Lewa, I was listening to him. He was shot 5 times, and they said with plus P bullets, and he lived.
Yeah,
he lived. I mean, how is that?
In a cab.
A couple times were in a. Boy, talk about the right reaction and stuff like that. He got away from them.
Now,
they figured they got him. And
so you took.
But he was a couple were in the leg. They shot him once in the leg. And
now you walk up to Cabey.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yes. Oh, I didn't get it.
You got to get to that part.
Right. Okay. Right. This is all happening pretty quickly.
Yeah.
And so I scan my eyes around.
Are they moaning, groaning, saying anything that you remember, laying there bleeding?
No. By the way, your hearing isn't. I'll tell you, your hearing comes back to you, but it comes back in a whoosh. It comes back fast when you're in a different state of mind. Mm-hmm. Okay. So with Cabey, after I got the last guy. What you do in a situation like this, you don't be moving around like crazy and stuff. Everyone else was lying still. The women's reaction was fainting, which is an interesting reaction. 2 women fainted.
And were there any other people left on the train? Any innocent bystanders that were left, or did they all leave the situation?
I think they were all gone by then. I don't know. I don't know. I wasn't even looking at them.
So you walk up to Cabey.
Okay, and I go up to him, and he was trying to move all around everything. Now, I realized later he was paralyzed by that time, but what he was doing, and he was a strong guy with his right hands, he was trying to get out of the seat or something. He was moving around, and I just, boom, you go for him like honey for the bee. So there are thoughts in my mind, this guy isn't screwed up enough, and
maybe he has a weapon.
No, you just pull the trigger on him. I didn't think the guy was hurt.
Did you shoot him a second time or no?
Well, I aimed it right at his belly and I aimed it to the right hand side, like a couple inches right of his belly button, and pulled the trigger.
Why didn't you go for the fatal, the chest or the headshot?
I wasn't wanting to kill him. I was just
No?
if guys like I had been beaten up and I whatever, and I figure you fuck each of them up good and that's it. You don't want to kill them. Maybe but it turns out probably it would have been better to kill him. I don't know.
Wow.
But anyway, that's the way it was then. And then after that, well, so we want to know about hearing. I started looking around and I saw two women. And I started looking at them for a while, and I couldn't figure out what happened because I thought there were 6 people shot. Because
boy.
you're trying to count bodies, bullets, and everything. You can't do it, and you can't do it at the time. I did.
Yeah, if you would have hit an innocent bystander, that really would have.
But I didn't.
No,
but I didn't.
It's amazing.
So, well,
Subway car. Jesus.
No, it's not amazing. It's not amazing. What is amazing is how bad some of these New Yorkers shoot. These city cops. I mean, one of them shot himself in the finger. How do you? I don't know what the mayor's going to do about that.
Critiquing other people's shooting.
Who wants to be the mayor of this city? Who? That's like I want. Anyway,
have you been? You haven't been mugged since then, have you? I read that.
No.
That is not true. Okay,
No.
I was saying, that would be a really bad move.
No,
People recognize you. What kind of reaction you get on the street? Do you get a "Hey, how you doing"? Or you get an angry reaction? Is it mixed black and white?
Well, unfortunately, you do get angry reactions. You get about it's lately it's running like 40-1 positive, but it's still you have negative people scream, shout, yell, act like idiots, and you have a society that's been partially brainwashed. Again, you had the courts of New York. They spent lots of time rewriting the law of New York that every shot is going to be judged individually, and that was based on the presumption that KB was shot a second time when the shooting was over. Okay, with the words, "You don't look too bad, here's another." That, in fact, didn't happen. All the shots went off. In terms of knowing about people shooting, you don't even have my sense of hearing didn't come back until I saw the two women. It was just... And it comes back.
Right.
Also, your vision comes back somewhat to normal.
So
your vision,
you would have to...
and you have a judge of New York. The judge who wrote it, he got arrested for blackmail and this and that. He was in prison, and he actually he was faking his own injuries. He was so scared, like he cut himself, and the other inmates attacked me because he just wanted to be out of there. And you have this guy who knew nothing about combat. And people's reactions.
So you'd have been screwed with that law because you would have had to judge the guy that was being shot as he's running away as a separate incident from the initial reason you shot.
Yeah. Now, there's all kinds of different ways of shooting, and also when things go, it takes a lot to pull the trigger down on one person. Once you reach the state where you're willing to pull the trigger on one person, then basically anything goes. Things will happen to you. Some guys who have experienced combat understand it. There was just a lot of ignorance and a tremendous amount of wasted energy and effort in New York.
Let me ask you something.
My prosecution, not only did it cost $2 million, but it caused racial resentment in New York.
Well,
but I think
certainly
it did help the politics because it gave us Al Sharpton.
You spent a year in jail for the gun charge?
8 months. Yeah.
8 months in jail.
Yeah.
All you were charged with was
carrying. That's a felony.
Right.
There is a concept like the authority of the law, and they didn't. And because it was a high publicity case, one of the reasons also they had to send me to jail, and it was we didn't want it at the time, but it went down during my trial when I was on trial for shooting the guys. One of the guys who testified, this rapist guy, he was screaming and yelling "F you" at the judge and "F you." Slotnick tormented.
Real potty mouth.
Yeah, well, we played dirty with him. What happened? Slotnick is an extraordinarily good attorney, and well, let me correct this. He's very good, but he has a good team behind him too, and stuff. Now, I want you to understand, we didn't play lots of dirty tricks in that trial, but we played some. We played about 4 or 5. The DA was playing a major dirty trick every day, a real low thing. So we had found out that James Ramsor in Rikers was on tranquilizers. A lot of guys in Rikers are on tranquilizers. Maybe
I would be
maybe
too.
15%. Oh, they don't even like giving them out. Well, in my section, maybe 10. Well, different people have different medications.
That's kind of what I wanted to ask you about. We must focus, Bernie. We must focus.
Okay, but anyway,
I wanted to. We wanted to conduct some type of interview. If you just go off, believe me, you tend to really go on these tangents. You're like, I would say the subject matter for you are like 4 black guys standing in front of you. You hit one, you're on the other. You hit one's running off, and you're going back to another one. You're all over the place,
Well,
Bernie.
the case has
Because you didn't describe that
brought up
subject well enough, so you
Right.
go back to that
it
one.
has to be done in detail. If
I
things
understand.
are going to be explained, you might as well do it in a way that people can. I'm not saying everyone can follow this, but
Right.
if they do a recording of this. And by the way, people said the CNN interview that I did a few days ago, that was aired a few days ago, that was good. And the reason it was good is a guy heard it on satellite radio. He doesn't actually watch TV. He listens to satellite radio, and he said the questions and everything were real. The way how it went, and the fact that there are pictures of two people, a man and a woman talking, or something like that, that doesn't really add to the conversation.
Have you ever seen these guys again, except for the KB civil trial?
In court. I saw them in the criminal court.
Now, I want to ask you about jail. Were you in the general population over at Rikers?
No. Fortunately, I was for 2 months. I was for 2 months in the hospital section of Rikers. That's where they keep people like Larry Davis, the high publicity.
Shot 6 cops, right? Larry Davis and
something like that, right? Then they that's totally different from general population.
How were you
then
treated?
I spent 6 months in the Brooklyn House of Detention. That was 6.5 months actually.
Wow. Now,
which
how
is a
were
high
you
security.
treated by some of the people? Were there black people that would mingle with you?
It's mostly black.
Right.
It's mostly black there.
Were there taunts being yelled out? And
well, a few people here and there. Rikers was different then. I hear Rikers right now is run by one of the gangs. I think it's the Bloods.
Really?
Yeah. They are about 5,000 of the population in Rikers is the Bloods. They run everything. They even have blood officers and blood captains. If one of them beats the crap out of you and stuff like that, if you report it, then they'll really beat the crap out of you, and nothing will happen in either case.
How were the guards to you and the cops? Did they treat you well?
Definitely, the guards and Rikers were pretty good and everything. I mean, we didn't get stuff like. I heard that a few years before when I was in there, some connected people were in there, and they were even their food was brought in every day on trays from the outside.
Cutting the garlic with a razor blade.
But anyway, jail sucks, by the way. But we did have pot. And we had some, and we had
pot
some
in jail.
Absolutely, we had some. Well, we were. I was lucky.
Hang with Richard Speck in a cell.
But not often. We might have some real good pot, maybe 4 times a week. You get some real good pot. It would only take you maybe a quarter of a joint, maybe a third of a joint to get you off good.
Good stuff, huh?
Yeah.
Wow. You didn't seem like the type that smoked pot. I had you pegged, and the media kind of presented you as this geeky computer guy. You know
what is a geeky? Well, at the time, I didn't even own a computer. Now I think using the internet is a wonderful thing.
Oh, yeah.
By the way,
you play video games?
No,
play any shooters?
No, but I'd love to.
You should play Grand Theft Auto.
I would.
You would love it.
Bernie loves the Weekly World News.
Yeah.
Wait, can you believe this? There's an article. This is a new revelation about history that the Vikings were sissies. They're actually sissies.
The Vikings were
wonder
sissies?
Look, they should.
And they use that word sissies?
Yeah. Wow, I don't know if I believe.
Did you see that one Weekly World News where the headline was "Bernie gets to the point"?
Well, this is the news. This is the news. I see it. There's a bunch of pictures of dead animals and stuff. I can't understand what that is.
Nah,
that's just for shock value.
There's a crossword puzzle. I wouldn't even know how to do that. And then let's see, nonsense, some personal ads.
6-letter word for Target.
Hey, look,
starts with N.
Here's something everyone here could learn: strip club etiquette. 10 essential do's and don'ts. Okay.
Wait. What was that? I missed that.
Oh, look, and there's another. Oh, so what? And look, here's another article. The Republicans now they're fighting for Caucasian History Month.
Oh,
and they show it. They show a picture of Donald Trump shouting with Ronald Reagan standing in the background.
I bet you'd be honored during that month.
Caucasian History Month.
I would honor you during that month.
Wait,
Where's that other thing?
I want to hear what strip club.
What month is he on the Klan calendar?
This is the new one. Just hit the news.
They have him shirtless for July.
Wait, was that strip club? What was the name of that?
Oh, look, here's other stuff. History. Jesus drove his brother to drink. It's possible.
Etiquette.
Get Craig Christ ready. That's how we'll end this.
You see?
Craig Christ from Stephen Lynch.
This is about vegetarian. They're showing giant pictures of mutant vegetables.
Mutant vegetables.
This is horrible. Anyway, I'm going to take us home and read it.
Hold on, can you go back to the stripper etiquette? We'll end with stripper etiquette.
What is there? You just do nothing. Buy drinks, put money in their belt, and say nothing is usually the best thing.
Right. Just look and enjoy.
Bernie, would you like to go to a strip club with us?
Nah.
No?
No, why not?
We'll take you out.
Oh, thanks.
That'd be fun.
Nah.
Nah?
Nah. It's just.
Nah?
Yeah. Definitely.
Wow.
Okay. Better porno on the internet.
Gotta get bullets.
So that's the news. And no news is good news.
Wow,
You're safe
Definitely
from
easier to shoot a
from
gun
the
than drive a
horrible
car.
snow.
Yeah.
Laugh at me. I'll get out.
I'm a good shooter.
Yeah.
Definitely a good shooter.
Definitely a good shooter. Yeah.
And I want my CD back.
What
I want
CD?
that one. You played one CD of that nice music in the
Of course,
beginning.
Wapner comes on it.
That was the
Yeah.
Remember that You played one music of that. You played about a minute and a half of that.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
Goddamn, Bernie, I love when you come on.
Yep.
I love when you come on.
The first 40 minutes were quite boring, but man, you made up
What
for
are
it.
you kidding?
You made up for it for with the
news.
last 10 minutes.
Well, I didn't mean to.
It's that killer
I thought it was
closing
the worst.
bit
This
he's
was
getting.
What did we learn, Anthony? That Jesus Christ drove his own brother
His brother to drink.
There's
That
mutant
fat chicks make sexy faces sometimes.
strippers have etiquette.
Adequate.
It's easier to shoot a pistol than to drive a car
Right.
with one hand.
Yeah.
in New York
Osma
City.
bin Laden.
Whoa, Bernie, what are you doing, Bernie?
Of
I want that
Ozma.
one CD.
Raji
It's right here. It's right here. It's right
Dangerfield.
here.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Wait.
Wait, no. You gotta go out of the machine.
Yeah, sit down, Bernie.
It's in the thing.
No, you said.
Right.
It's right there.
Oh, yeah,
it's
sit
there.
down. I'll get it to you. We're going to say goodbye to you.
Wow. You rule, Bernie.
Bernie.
No, you do.
This one, right?
It says on the front.
Oh, what are
Oh, you motherfucker! Tony, Opie, you're asking for trouble.
Tony.
Oh, he's coming over.
Oh, Bernie, sit down. Sit down.
Oh my God!
Wait,
He's really mad. He's really mad.
You pissed off Bernie again.
All right, get over there. Get over there.
It's getting hot in here.
It's getting hot
in here.
It's getting real hot in
Bernie, you
here.
don't have to take that. You don't have to take that, Bernie.
All right, sit down.
Stand up
Bernie.
for your rights, Bernie.
Sit down, Bernie. Sit down. It's okay. It's okay,
Poe.
Sit down.
Poe, it's okay. It's okay. Poe, it's okay. Poe, it's okay. Poe, it's okay.
All right, have Bernie sit
Bernie,
down.
take a
Let's-
seat.
Let's all
Everything's
calm down.
fine.
It's all right.
I may not be able to get that fucking CD. Hand it over.
Yeah. Hand over that fucking CD.
Oh, you gotta have another.
You lunatic.
All right, Bernie.
He's
Fine, Poe.
Tell him to relax.
Poe, he's
Tell
fine.
him to relax.
You tell him to
Yeah,
relax.
tell him.
Yeah, everyone just relax.
Everybody relax.
All he did was take the CD out. I mean,
Yeah, but
Fuck you. Keep your CD. I won't be here again.
Bernie! Bernie! Bernie's leaving. Oh man! Do you got his CD? Give him his CD.
wait, bring him back in.
Give him his CD.
No, we'll explain what happened. Bring him back in. Ben,
Bernie.
come.
Oh, okay, he's going into
Don't
his
leave
bag.
me.
Holy
What?
shit!
He's going into a bag.
No, he said, Bernie.
it's okay. He's
Bernie,
zipping
we
up.
got the CD. We got the CD. Bernie.
he's pissed.
Oh my
Wait,
God! He's
follow him
running
out follow him out with the cell phone. Make sure he knows it was a fake CD. No, follow him out with the cell phone.
Opie took a fake. It wasn't his CD and
Oh,
started
wasn't his
smashing
CD?
it.
No, of
and he
course
lost
not.
his mind. Did you
Of
get
course
him the
not.
CD?
Lord,
He
I
was
think we
really-
saw some of that rage.
That was that rage.
Yeah.
Wow, that was it.
That was like one of those bad court dramas on TV
Right,
where
yeah.
the guy finally snaps
Finally
on the
cracks
stand.
him. The lawyer cracks
All
him.
right, I did it. See?
All right, hold on. I think.
And I'm not sorry. I'd do it again.
All right, let's go to the phones here.
Jesus.
Bernie, this
Oh.
is your CD right there. Okay, thank you. That's not the one he. Relax. That's not the one. That's yours.
Tell him.
Listening back.
That's the one he used in the studio. though.
Eric,
he didn't break yours.
Eric, explain. Explain what we
Bernie,
do.
it was a joke. He had another CD. Whatever. Hey, it was a separate CD. Sure? It was totally. Take a look at it. It's not even broken or damaged.
Anyway, it's okay. Why don't you relax? Why don't you relax? No. Because I want to go. It's 9 o'clock. I want to go home anyway.
Okay, but they still want to talk to you.
Go back inside and at least let's not burn bridges. Let's go.
Yeah, come back in and talk. He's coming in. Nice and relaxed.
Wait,
That sounds scary.
All right, hold
Yeah.
on.
He's coming in.
They just want to talk to
Opie's
you.
building a barrier.
All right,
Bernie.
Oh, wait, sit down.
Look,
Sit
it's
down.
9
Sit
o'clock.
down.
No, it's 9 o'clock.
Bernie.
I'm
Let me
here.
explain what happened, though, Bernie. 'cause
I
we-
gotta let him explain what
It wasn't my
happened.
CD.
Wait, put on your headphones. Let me explain.
Yeah.
I
Let
don't
him
want
explain.
because we
Explain.
really like you. We want you to be a
I
friend
love
of the show.
Bernie Getz, and I don't want
Bernie.
to. I don't want to get off on
Bernie,
the wrong foot here.
We felt like here.
I'm listening.
All right. We felt like you were a friend of the show that we could pull one of our gags on you. That's all that was.
It was a joke.
It was a joke. Here's the
okay,
wait here. I'm
okay.
going to show you. Calm down. Here's the CD I was smashing.
Okay, I didn't know that. Okay.
Here's the CD I was smashing was called Haunted Pussy.
Oh, okay. That's okay.
It had nothing to do with the one
You
that
were smashing Haunted Pussy, you bastard. That's mine.
Bernie, I never touched your CD.
Okay. Oh,
I took this one, and Eric snuck it in and made the old switcheroo.
Bernie, we still pals?
Things are okay. Things are okay.
But
Yes,
I'm glad, I consider
I'm
you
glad we had this
a friend of mine.
Oh,
I consider
Bernie,
you
look-
a
okay,
friend.
or whatever.
Bernie, look at your CD.
He doesn't like the
Bernie,
friend label.
Not like no.
It's okay.
Look at your CD. There's not a scratch on it. I didn't smash
I
yours.
trust you.
All
Okay,
right.
so I don't have to look at it.
I thought
just
we
whatever.
were at that stage in our friendship that we could pull one of our gags on you. That's all.
Well,
Why
I mean,
you
it's
smash his
it's
CD, though? He brings that in.
It's like, I mean, it wasn't as bad as what if someone took your kid and said, "I'm hanging your kid out the window like Michael Jackson."
Well,
there you go.
not that
You know,
bad.
I know,
But,
it's not that bad. It's
all
only
right.
a CD.
There
All
you
right,
go.
Bernie. So we're cool.
We're cool. And
All
anyway, that's the news for the week.
Thank you,
Okay?
Bernie.
Okay.
Very
now,
good.
Bernie
now,
gets everybody.
now that everybody knows what's happening in the world, you know,
I hear you.
and
All right.
is up a phew.
Yeah, that
We're
was
cool in the gang.
That was intense.
yeah. You
now I
guys
know what
are-
those guys felt on that subway. I'll tell you that much.
boy, you got
Just
mad.
Oh,
Yeah,
night
night
and
and
day.
day.
Like a
The way he
bunch
can
of
turn it on.
Fonzies. Yeah.
He really turned it on.
Oh, what a quick fuse. That's not a slow burn.
You taking the subway home? Are you driving?
Everything's cool, Bernie. Everything's Opie, shut the fuck up! We're gonna be like little Fonzies. And what's Fonzie, Bernie?
I don't know.
Cool.
Oh yeah, that's okay. Anyway, okay, have
Yeah,
a
Bernie,
good
we
day.
didn't want you. We didn't
It's
want
gonna be
you.
a mild winter.
We didn't want you going away mad.
Mild
You're all
winter.
right. All right.
Is that
Oh, you dropped something, Bernie?
All right.
There you go.
Okay.
That looks like the same.
Randy Taylor. I don't know where you people come from. I don't know if you test your products, your quantity of your products. Your products are very delicious. Love your sausage for 30-something years, but I can't take and feed a family of 5 on a little 12-ounce roll of sausage. I don't mind paying you more money for your 16-ounce roll of sausage, but you don't have it anymore. You've got a 12-ounce roll, and you got 3 men that weigh over 200 pounds apiece, a woman that's a little plump Scotch girl, and a daughter who's 13, and you're going to try to take a 12-ounce roll of sausage and a couple of dozen eggs and feed that, it ain't going to work. And I'm not going to purchase your product anymore or ever again. And as far as your 16-ounce and maple and sage, I don't eat that. I'm not from the north. I'm a Texas man. Jimmy Dean sausage is for southern people to eat with the breakfast with the fried eggs and the T-bone steaks. And I can't see going to a little 12-ounce package to feed 4, 5, 6 people. And I'm not going to buy 2 of those 12-ounce packages just because you want to downsize and charge the same goddamn price. I'd sure like a reply, and I'd sure like you to go back to your 16-ounce package on your regular sausage, because I'm not going to buy it otherwise ever again. I'll just have my own damn sausage made like I used to 30-something years ago. It's not tasty as yours is, but it'll work. Goodbye. That little 12-ounce goddamn roll of sausage is supposed to feed your brother and me and you 600 pounds of men, at least. You get my point? And the 2 girls, and they put it in that fucking pussy roll of sausage. Son of a bitch. Somebody needs their ass kicked. Some little consumer geekaroid thought this shit up. Save money. Yes, save money. Save money. So fuck, I'm going to eat, goddammit.